Hey, it's June, everybody. It's time for June's Memory of the Month, and I'm so excited to share this one with you. It's a great one, so stay tuned. So there was a while where I had taken a sabbatical from Little Star in Indiana, and we moved to the East Coast. We actually moved to the Boston area. That was my husband and my son, Brad, and our 6 dogs. And so I met a whole lot of new people, and so I was working at a school for children with autism there, and I had this very lovely woman who was my assistant, and she was probably in her 60s, and I really enjoyed her. In fact, today, like 10 years later, she and I still correspond over Facebook and stuff. But she had this mother who was this most amazing woman, and she was quite a character. And her mother was in her 80s and was just a lovely person. And so sometimes this woman that I worked with and her husband and her mother and myself and Brad and my husband, we'd all go out to dinner together. And so I got to learn about this woman, and she had just an incredible life. And one of the things that was interesting about her was that she had been married to her first husband, who is the father of the woman I worked with. And they had a wonderful marriage for about 20 years, and he died unexpectedly, fairly young, and so she was a widow. So she, after a couple years, found another man that she fell in love with, and she got married for the second time. And she had a wonderful marriage with the second man, and they were married about 20 years, and he passed away. And so, she was lucky, and she had these 2 wonderful marriages. Well, she met another man, and she fell in love with this other man, and they never got married, but they were together for about 15 years before he passed away. And by this time, she was in her mid-80s. So one time we were at dinner, and we were just kind of talking about, this and her life and the husband she had had and how lucky she had been in love. And Bradley was just sitting there kind of listening the whole time, and he says, "So when you get to heaven, who are you going to hang out with?" And so the woman laughed, and she said, "Gosh, I've never really thought about that." And Bradley said, "Well, maybe you could have 3 houses and split days, or you can just have 1 house and you guys can just all hang out together." And so she said, "Yeah, I think that's what we do. I think we'll just have 1 house and we'll just all hang out together." And Brad says, "Yeah, I think that's the best idea." So again, it was just one of those things that nobody really thinks about or nobody ever talks about, but Brad was really, concerned with who are you going to hang out with heaven? You have all these, these 3 wonderful men in your life. Who's going to get your time? And so he was worried about it, and he came up with a great solution. So that's my June Memory of the Month. Thank you so much. Please be sure to share any wonderful stories that your children have had in the comments below, and be sure to like and follow and share Life with a Side of Autism. See you in July.